steps to express your brand personality. Branding can change your life. Your ability to express your brand can basically change your life. And branding is one of those elements that work across all continents, whether you're following this from the United States, following this from the Middle East, Dubai, Saudi Arabia, or across Africa, Europe. When you have the right brand as a professional, as an entrepreneur, it can change everything. But having the right brand without the ability to express that brand, and not only express the brand, but consistently express your personality in a way that people can consistently love you, value you, like you, desire to work with you, collaborate with you, and so on and so forth. So there are a couple of steps. As a full-time professional for 12 years, where I have been doing teaching and training and consulting and coaching, and I have used some of these steps in my life personally, and I've used this with clients in almost different countries and continents. And we have been able to see tremendous results, especially in the amount of impact they can create, in the amount of new clients they get, in the amount of new opportunities they attract, in the amount of money they're able to make. Because one thing is that the right brand personality is a currency. If you build the right brand personality and express it very well, you can use it and get the money currency. Brand personality is a currency. Money is just another form of currency. When you exchange the right brand personality, somebody can give you the money you need, right? Good. So what are these steps that you can begin to put into work? So I like to use the word practical steps because these are things that as I begin to explain, you start thinking of implementation. So as I am explaining this, your thoughts should be, okay, after this session, this is what I'm doing in my life. This is what I'm doing here, here, and here. Because without implementation, the practical steps basically are useless. And that's why I have structured the practical steps, and I'll explain in a way that you can relate to it and actually get to work, right? Number one, the first step you need to take is applying your brand personality to your message, right? Everybody has a brand personality and everybody has a brand message. So you need to bring these two together. For some people, their brand personality could be, happiness. Their brand personality could be romance. Their brand personality could be technical. Their brand personality could be social, whatever. But you need to merge the brand personality to your brand message. So before you can be able to express your brand personality, you need to know the personality you have. What is your personality? What is the brand personality behind your business, for those who have businesses? Then what is your brand message, right? Like for those who know me, my brand message revolves around, maybe you can use 2 keywords to summarize my brand message. I am all about high performance and high productivity. These 2 words basically summarize my brand message. If you hear the way I talk, all my courses, basically everything I teach revolves around this, both in corporate, business, personal coaching, team productivity, everything about it is about peak performance, high productivity, all that. That's my brand message, basically, right? And some brands are built with video content through their YouTube channels, Facebook pages, and self-hosted content. And all of these depends on your brand personality and brand message. Like for me, I use a lot of YouTube. Like my brand message is communicated better through YouTube, Facebook, of course, and LinkedIn. And all of this, you will notice that I use a lot of written content and of course, short videos. You get the concept. So you bring these 2 together and you use all of that. And all of these are social media platforms. Where you see self-hosted content could be like, if you see our Peak Performance University is our own platform where we post our own, courses and other stuff, right? So you need to learn, how do you apply your brand personality to your messaging, and which platform do you use to express this? This is one of the easiest ways to get your personality across, especially if you're a personal brand. Brand personality and effective copywriting go hand in hand, and that's where you need to start. Now, you cannot separate, your brand personality from let me use writing, right? Creating engaging written content, creating engaging video content, even audio content. Because if you cannot express, people will not understand what you stand for, people will not understand the kind of personality that you represent or what you're trying to communicate. So the question is, how do you use your Facebook? How do you use your LinkedIn? How do you use your Instagram? How do you use your Twitter? Because these are all social media platforms. And these things are just platforms if you don't know how to leverage on them to express the brand personality that you have. Then next is apply brand personality to your brand story. Every brand has a story. You have a story. Your business has a story. Your career has a story. Right? That's why if you look at very successful business people, they know how to tell stories around their products, stories around how they build their businesses, stories around how they got where they are, stories about their challenges, stories about their daily activities, stories about their daily experiences. They share stories of different things. Like, for example, you follow me, I share stories from different stuff. And in the midst of those stories, you'll find that I am teaching a business strategy, a business concept, a business principle. I'm selling a business program, a business coaching, a business training. There's always that makes up where I leverage on the brands on a story. It could be a brand story or an activity story, a business story, and I'm able to feed in my brand, feed in my products, my services, my solutions, and all of that, right? And of course, an effective brand story is about your audience, right? It's not about, even if you're personalizing your story, it's about you. Make sure that you can, like, for example, you can write the story of your personal struggles, and maybe in the second paragraph, you now push it back to the society. Right? Oh, this is what you can pick up from this story. This is what you can pick up from my life. This is what you can pick up from my business here and there. Right? Because a good brand story is about, the audience. It's about the existing world. It's about their challenges. It's about their obstacles. It's about their pain points, and ultimately their journey to their idea of success. And of course, every good brand, every good business should exist to help the following. Your business should be existing to sort out challenges. Your business should be existing to remove obstacles from the lives of people. Your business should be existing to reduce pain points. Your business should be existing to help people reach that place where they like to call success. Right? Yeah. So if you're telling a brand story, it should revolve around these areas. It's going to get them engaged, and it can make somebody desire you. Let's say, for example, I shared a brand story. I shared the story of my first office and my present office, and then I was talking about how startups can thrive and be consistent, some strategies and all of that. And then the story went viral. Somebody picked it up in Ghana and was having an entrepreneurship event. And okay, I need you in Ghana. Paid my flight, paid me, paid my hotel. Okay, come speak. You see, that's the power of a brand story, because it communicates something that can enable people to relate with your brand and decide to buy or to stay connected to your brand, right? Good. And this is the story your audience wants to hear. And that's why it's difficult for you to build a brand when you don't understand how people think. That's why, like, personally for me, I always go to my page. Like right now, according in my page, I have top followers from Cameroon and other African countries, then Dubai, and then the United States, right? So, and all of these demographics, they have a different way. One thing I'm trying to shift in my brand right now is trying to make sure that I can do one post. I can do one post on Facebook, and some people read in different markets and they find themselves in that post. And it's so difficult, so challenging. It's easier when you know when you're writing just for a particular market. It was easier a few years ago, a few months ago, when I was writing, knowing that okay, my major market is Cameroon, but now the market has grown. The followers who follow me on YouTube and all of that, they have grown. See people following from almost you see Europe, Middle East, and North America, Canada, United States included. So now you're writing one story, or you're writing one relevant knowledge, or one insightful post. You need to make sure that the words and the structure and the explanations, the examples, the stories, anybody can read from these areas. Now, instead of using francs in my content, if I'm using money, I'll start thinking of how to use dollars and remove francs. And now, you see, all of these different moving parts affect how you tell your story, and make sure that it's something that the audience would like to hear, right? Why? Because the story, this is the story your brand needs to tell, because when you tell this kind of story, it leads to selling. You get the concept? So number 3, apply brand personality to brand identity. Your brand identity is very important. Your brand identity is very, very important. And brand identity is something that you effortlessly, you need to intentionally create. And it can take time for you to create a brand identity. An identity that somebody can, over time, people can recognize. Let me give you examples out of a many, like around my life. Like, for example, for those who have followed me, know that I use the same style of my PowerPoint presentation. And there was a time that somebody got my PowerPoint presentation when I removed my logos and pictures and allowed the same thing the same. And then somebody went to Limbe. Limbe is a town in Cameroon, in an event, and saw somebody presenting my PowerPoint. The person was not in the event where I presented that particular content, but the person recognized that these are my colors. This is how I structure my PowerPoint. The person snapped and sent to me, and he said, "This looks like your PowerPoint." That's somebody who maybe the person has attended a lot of my trainings, and they know my style. That's brand identity. Secondly, a few months ago, I wore a white shirt. I wore a white shirt, and then I posted the picture on my status. If I received 100 comments about that picture, 98 were about, "Wow, you wore a white shirt today," right? For those who know me, I wear just black shirt and a black tie. Apart from that, nothing else. I'm sure those who have, if you're keen enough, you understand. And these are things that are subtle, but they're very powerful, and they contribute to your identity, your brand identity. You get the concept? So your brand identity is one of the most expensive tools of your entire brand story, because you need to be intentional, and some of the things will need to cost money. Like maybe going to the studio to pay a photographer, to buy a particular dress, and to pay a particular person's design stuff for you, your logo, to design your website. Everything should be around the identity that you want to express. It makes you stand out easily. Brand expression will struggle without the right identity. So as a professional, as an entrepreneur, what is your brand identity? People can remember visuals. So the characteristics you want to display through your brand personality can be applied very effectively through the visuals that you develop. Okay, through the visuals that you develop. So all of these visuals are intentional. You should be very intentional about it. Like if you look at the beginning of this, right? So now, if you look at the colors around my logo and all of that and all of these things, you see that colors are almost the same. Now, this picture is my very old, I think this is 2017, where you see me wearing a white shirt, right? And by that time, I used to represent a lot of white and green because my official company, my company's official colors are white and green and a subtle yellow. So I used to represent this. But I started moving from that to, because I want my company staff to be the ones representing my company brand more. Then I represent my personal brand more. Then I move my personal influence and begin to push. Like there's a whole strategy that I have in how I transition my personal results and brand and influence to affect the company. It's a whole strategy around that. But just to explain, you see there, so you look at the coloring here and there, you're going to see some similarities and all of that. The black shirt, the black tie, the black long tie, or black put it again, bow tie, all of that. You see here, you see different suits may be there, but something will be constant as far as the whole process is basically concerned, right? So develop brand identity visuals. It could be around visuals around your PowerPoint, visuals around how you paint your office, right? Like you go to our office in Douala, I see that the office painted green and white and all of that is intentional. It's part of the whole identity. And it takes, and one thing about brand identity is it takes time. So this will also affect this. We're talking about social media branding, right? Your cover picture, on your Facebook and other social media platforms, your profile picture and all of that is the same thing. Number 4, apply brand personality to every touch point. Apply this still part of creating your brand identity, but touch points are more specific. A typical example of touch points are like pens and coffee cups, right? Like touch points is the first thing that somebody touches when they come in contact with your brand in a layman's terms, right? So let's say like the door to your office, can carry a certain branding because that's a touch point, right? The coffee cup in your office at the reception, if you have a reception, should carry the name of your company, because if somebody enters and your secretary or reception want to give them a coffee, that'll be the first touch. The pen that somebody used at a reception to write things should carry the name of the company, the logo, and all of that, touch points, right? So you make sure that you apply your brand personality to every touch point. Your brand strategy sets the foundation of all of your brand communication. On social media now, it talks about what? Your profile picture talks about even the words that you write to describe yourself under about you. It's very important. Personally, somebody like me, I have rejected friend requests because of poor profile pictures, because that's their first touch point. So if it's not well done, people, it sends the wrong expression about yourself, right? So it is important that this personality is displayed consistently around areas where people can quickly see you. Like, look at your life right now. What's the first thing? That's why, for example, do you know how you talk and your facial expression is part of your touch point? Immediately somebody says, hi, nice to meet you. Whatever comes out of your mouth and your facial expression or your body language are your touch points. Many people have very weak touch points in that particular dispensation. And that's why they have their ability to actually influence people in a particular way it's not that powerful and not that excellent. And you know, this is, people like energy, people like professionalism, people like excellence and all of that. You see, so the first touch point around your life, social media, even your website is very, very important. Very, very important. So you need to learn how to apply your brand personality to every touch point around you. It's the same like here on Zoom. There are many people here that, like for example, they come to a session like this. Let's say like when I started, I was asking people to write this in the chat box, write this and write that. So people will not write and they will not talk. They'll just come and silently be part of a session like this and leave and nothing happens. Now, you don't build a good brand like that. Basically, you do not exist. If nobody can feel you, experience you, you are not actually there. And that's why if you look at people that have been able to build powerful brands, to see that they command a certain level of expression around their touch points. You see, that's why I'm currently developing a master class. I've forgotten the title, so my next stop. I'm working on a master class on, I think I've titled the protocols to high performance, something like that. And one of the key protocols in this master class is developing the quality of your interpersonal relations. Developing the quality of your interpersonal relations. Many people are struggling to succeed and get opportunity because they have very weak interpersonal relations, right? They are always sitting on the fence. Like, for example, like in this class right now, I've been given activities and just about 40% or 30% of the class is active, but others are there, they are getting it, but they are not responding. Now, that's a typical example of, as I always say, no matter how good you are, if nobody knows you, you will die a talented poor man. Basically, what I always say is, if you cannot, enable yourself in a way people can experience your touch points and things about you, it will not push them to dig deep into you and to work with you. That's how people lose opportunities, job opportunities, contracts, business, and all of that. And the same on social media. There are people on social media that their touch point is terrible. Profile picture, terrible. Cover picture, terrible. The things that they post, terrible. So they really have nothing around them that can attract people of value and opportunities. So some people will need to work on their touch points. Okay, your marketing efforts are the front lines of your brand and where your personality needs to be at its most tangible human self. Every touch point should be laced with your brand personality, including what your website was talking about, it, your brochures, your banners, your content, your videos, social channels, social posts, emails, everything around you should communicate a particular personality about you that can make people to engage with you and desire to work with you. I see, in the professional world, if you don't do things intentionally that can push people to desire to work with you or collaborate with you or have you work with them, your access to opportunities will change your life. It is opportunities that change lives. As simple as that. As long as opportunities are not coming your way, you will never grow in life. People remain stuck because they don't attract the right opportunities, or they are not positioned in places where they can get the right opportunities, right? Good. A brand is an entity that humanizes a business so the intended audience can develop feelings towards it and ultimately a relationship with it. So that identity is very important. And the expression of that brand is very important. That is what leads to people developing a relationship. And the expression of this brand is very important. So no matter how you think that you have a good brand, the expression is very important, right? Like, for example, this picture is a gourmet picture, right? This is a touch point. This roll-up is a touch point. Adding this logo on the picture is a touch point. So whether we like it or not, the gourmet network have expressed their brand through these touch points. We are seeing it, whether consciously or unconsciously. We have all seen a logo that carries blue and written gourmet, and people are more curious, would like to go further to know more about it. This is brand expression. Okay, good. Conclusion: brand growth does not happen by guesswork. It is intentional. To build a brand that can produce results is intentional. And I want to say this: one of the most powerful things that you can send ahead of you is your brand. And one thing that is important in building a brand that succeeds is the competence behind that brand. And you need to be careful about that. Building a brand or carry out brand expression with the wrong competence or with the wrong product, quality, and all of that is very dangerous. There are people who are very good at branding. So I always say that branding something that is not good is not branding. It's called hyping. Hyping is when you brand what is incompetent. That's why I analyze it. But branding what is good is important. So what I brought this statement was I wanted to say that a brand that speaks for you locally is not the same brand that speaks for you nationally. Let's say you're following this right now and you're trying to build a business, or you're an individual professional, and the work you're doing in your immediate county, your immediate region, or your immediate city, your immediate town or community. That's good. There's a brand that speaks for you at that level. But if you're looking at dominating at the regional level or the national level, you need to build a brand. You need to start building and cultivating a brand that can enable you to compete or to do things at that level. And the brand must go ahead of you to begin to open those doors for you. You want to go continental, you need to make sure that your brand can speak for you in a continental stage. Like, for example, writing a profile is part of your branding. So if you write a profile about yourself, about your business, and the profile is not structured in a way that somebody can read the profile and perceive that you have what it takes to play the game at the continental stage or the international stage, then you need to work on it. You need to work on it, right? Let's say, for example, when I'm writing a profile to submit to speak in a global event, or let's say Europe and the United States, everything about that profile talks about the global organization I work with. I will never mention a local national organization in Cameroon. You will never see that. But if I'm writing something to have the interest of a client in Cameroon or in any African country, I'll pick local organizations that are popular, that they know about it, and fit it in the process. That's the same person with almost the same brand, but the expression is different depending on who I am targeting. You get the concept. That's why I said that brand growth does not happen by guesswork. You need to be conscious about it. And one of the most important things in your life as a professional and as a business person that you need to make sure you know about it and invest to build intentionally is your brand. Because your brand can open doors for you and your brand can close doors for you. All right, so I'll now go quickly to social media, open my social media channels and show some stuff to you, and then we can end the session. But this, as I said, this first teaching was not part of what I plan to teach with you guys, but I felt that it's important I highlight these key things. For some people, it may sound as if it's so serious. For some people, it may sound like, oh, it makes some sense. But all I want to challenge you is pick this and see how you can try to express. Start from somewhere. Okay, as I said at the beginning, you don't build a great brand overnight. My brand has taken me 10 years and I'm still building it today. Even this morning, I was working on improving certain things on my website. I'm about to launch a new logo, about to replace this logo you're seeing right now to launch a new one. And then a lot of things. So it's a consistent, it's intentional. It's a growing process. It's a growing process. But you must make sure that it's becoming better and better and better. And the more your brand becomes better, the more opportunities you get. I was saying something funny that the more my brand becomes better, the more money I make. Right? I was giving an example. I was teaching, I think I was having a session with my mentees, and I asked them a question that 10 years ago, I used to speak in an event and they'll pay me 10,000 francs, 20,000 francs. For those who are not Cameroonians, it's like less than $50 or so. And then 10 years later, I speak for the same 1 hour and I can charge 2 million, 2.5 million francs. What's the difference? There are a couple of things that have changed. It could be the competence, experience, but one critical thing that affects the change in what I charge is the brand I command. And I know people, I know a role model in the speaking industry who charges $100,000 for 1 hour to speak. How much is $100,000 in Cameroon money in your local currency? 100 millions.
60 million.
Right? 60 million for somebody speak for one. I'm not saying what I hear. This is what is charged. I've seen his bank account. 60 million to speak for 1 hour. The difference is the brand that he commands. It's not as if he's the best speaker in the world, no, or the best expert in the world. This somebody sometimes when he saw my training content, like, my goodness, how do you create this? There's an expert in Ghana who begged. So we were speaking on events together a few months ago in Ghana, and then he wanted to go speak somewhere, and he asked me to send his content. But this guy charged 10 times higher than me to speak for 1 hour. He charges like sometimes 15 million, 20 million to speak for 1 hour. But he requested my content. He said my content is incredible, like the way I structured and all of that is incredible. But the difference is, it's not about competence alone. He commands a higher, powerful brand. And the funny thing is he has been ahead of me in the industry. He has like 20 years experience, way older than me. And that's the place of time. So branding also works with time. But sitting that time will pass and you build a good brand is wrong. You build your brand every day. You perfect it every day. You work on it on a daily basis. And I always say that people who have really realized the importance of building their brand, they are very careful of what they post on social media on their status. There's a lady who is a good friend, on her status on a daily basis, 95% of everything that she posts on her status, they are memes, funny videos, funny stuff, things that make no sense. Then I asked her a question. One time I said, if you have 20 million and you look at somebody's status and all their posts are these things that you are posting, can you trust that person and invest in that person? I'm not saying you should not do fun, but hey, in the professional world, the things that takes most of you determine your internal system. I do post fun, but for those who may know that if I post 100 things a month, 99 will be serious, 1 will be fun. Or 99 things will focus around industry matters. Let me not use the word serious, like this guy only always working, right? Nothing 99 will be industry matters. 1 fun here and there. And branding is all about experiences. Let me tell you something I did this year. For those who follow me, notice that in all of this World Cup bonanza, I have not posted anything about the World Cup. For those, if you notice, Paul, did you notice? If Paul is still there.
Yes, JJ, I noticed. I'm here.
I have not posted any single post about the World Cup, the Cameroon match, or anything. That was intentional. I was trying to see how my brand can stay and people can stay consuming my content and the things I post, even in the midst of a global competition. It's called cutting through. It's a strategy to cut through. The world is very noisy right now. And one of the things about to measure the strength of your brand in the midst of your followers is to see how your brand can cut through the noise and distractions and still meet the needs of your followers and get their attention. And you know how to keep yourself from distraction despite the pressure and the emotional intelligence. Everybody was posting up and down. Said, I'm going to stay the course. I'm not making a single post about this. Somebody even noticed that everybody talking about World Cup, you have not spoken about it. It's not on your status. It's not anywhere. Somebody was close to me. I said, no, it's not. I'm not interested. That's what I said. But I knew what I was doing. It was a research. It was a test for me to test the strength of my brand as far as my followers are concerned, as far as those who read for me every day are concerned. You know, so you see, branding is a whole mechanics and a whole engineering and art and the science and all of that. But all I'm trying to say is take it serious because it can bless you. Many people are still struggling financially and financially basically because a good brand should make you money. Like seriously, a good brand should be making you money. Whether as a professional worker or others as an entrepreneur, a good brand should be increasing your value. Because when people sense that your value is growing, they pay for it more. Okay, good. Were you challenged? Were you challenged so far? Did you pick out something? If you learn something important, indicates. Did you learn something? Those who are following, did you learn something?
Yes, sir. We
Yes,
learned a lot.
Dr.
Okay,
Remarkable.
Yes,
good.
sir. Yes, sir. We learning.
Awesome.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I learned something.
All right, good. Let's go to practical session now. So I will just follow me carefully as I list out, as I explain to you some of these stuff that I was talking about here and there. So let me start with the most popular. Let me see. Sorry, I want to share my. I want to share my screen, and then I give you a summary of what I was talking about. So you go work on this. Okay, I hope you can see my screen. Let's start with Facebook. All right. So, can you see my screen? If you can see my screen, just confirm. Can you see my screen? All right.
Yes, we can see.
Good. So social media branding, again, is all about expression. It's all about perception. It's all about, when people see you on social media, what comes to their mind? What do they pick about you? So how you structure certain things on social media is very important. As I was saying, your profile picture and your cover page are your immediate touch points. Your profile picture, cover page, and your name definitely are your immediate touch points. There are many people that when you look at their profile picture, their cover profile picture, it doesn't send a strong message. You can get ignored. You can ignore them. You may decide not to take them serious, right? So you need to make sure that, like I always say, if you're 20 years and above, oh my goodness, all this. If you're 20 years and above and you're a professional or an entrepreneur, you need to go take a corporate picture. Anybody who's 20 years and above should be represented on social media with a corporate picture, a picture that represents you, a picture that represents where you're going, a picture that represents that you are credible and you're a serious professional. Selfies are not good. Taking pictures with your phones, especially this low. I mean, I know that Apple 12, 13, 14, they are incredibly good. Yes, you can take a good picture that represents professionalism. Good, use that, it works. I mean, I know people do that, but it should portray professionalism, excellence, credibility, integrity, respect, professional ethics. All of these things are important. You get a point? So these are your touch points. Work on your cover picture, work on your profile picture. And then the next thing is this. One thing, I hate to receive a request from somebody and I don't see their intro. This is part of your brand expression. This is part of your brand expression, intro. Because in less than 5 seconds, less than 10 seconds, somebody can know who you are and what you represent. These things are intentional. Facebook does not just create these things intentionally because they want to create them. No, they know that these things are important as far as our professional lives and growth is concerned. Okay. And then the next thing is this, all of this. You see, where you work, the things you have done, all of that. This is part of your brand identity. It builds trust, etc., and these things, right? And then, of course, the things that you post. And of course, Facebook has made pin posts, right? I always recommend that if you're a certain professional, your pin post should talk about you, should talk deeper about you. Like I changed my pin post. This one is a new one that I put a few days ago. And it's a video that talks about, I was being introduced when I was about to speak in an event, right? You do that. This is my new logo that is launched a few days ago. So I am introducing in a subtle way. I have a way that I introduce my new stuff. I don't do like a format that, oh guys, see, here's my new logo. No, I have a way that I do it. I just subtly add in areas. Before people know it, they're already used to it. Except people are very detailed in the way they look at things before they're like, oh, so you have changed your logo, right? But people just, for some people, they just realize that, oh, it just so that you are used to the new one without a formal announcement or something new. Those are different strategies that you can use, right? And then your next touch point, of course, is your timeline. your timeline. And let me tell you, I always advise people, I always say this, listen carefully. If somebody comes on any of your social media platforms and read your first 5 posts and don't conclude on who you are and don't conclude on your personality and what you represent, something is wrong with your brand online. Do you hear me? If somebody opens your social media timeline right now and read your first 5 posts and cannot conclude that you are a serious professional or entrepreneur who is going places, then something is wrong with your social media brand. Are you proud of your first 5 posts right now? If you open your social media, if you open your social media timeline right now, if you read your first 5 posts, what are we going to see about you? Are we going to be proud? Will you be happy that we're looking at your timeline? Because it's all about expression. It's about the perception you're building. And your social media platform is the expression platform. There's nothing about building a brand without expression. And there's nothing about expression without you communicating and dishing out the things that represent who you are or who you want people to recognize and work with and celebrate, right? So you see, all of these are my first 5 posts here and there, different stuffs and all of that. They are there for a reason, intentionally, right? Good. So you need to be conscious about this. If your profile picture doesn't represent the personality you want to embody, you need to go and upgrade it. And the quality of your content on social media is very important. Another way that you also build a brand personality is how you relate in the comment sections. How you relate in the comment sections. If you relate in the wrong platforms, you relate in platforms that talk about, let's say, violence, immorality, sex, alcohol, all of that. That is how I know that social media has algorithms. Social media will only be suggesting things like that to you. If you follow the wrong influencers and people, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. So how you also interact is part of your expression. Where you interact, the things that you post or comment in the places you interact make up your social media brand and your expression. It goes same for like Twitter, for example, right? This Twitter and all of that. And one thing you'll notice about all my social media handles is that I have the same profile picture and the same cover picture. It's part of the brand identity. It's part of my brand identity. It makes people to recognize me quickly. It makes those who are searching, you never know who is searching for you on the internet. It makes that recognition to happen in so quickly, so fast. Okay, so and it's the same thing. Make sure your profile, cover page, and your about here is your tag line. It's very important, and other stuffs very, very important. And of course, the things that you post, you see, this is here again. It's a pin post here. You can know more about me in a short time and all of that. Okay, now the same thing. This LinkedIn is a life-changing platform. If there's one platform that has changed my life, it's LinkedIn. Knowing how to use LinkedIn professionally can change. LinkedIn is a social media platform, but it's for professionals. It's for professionals. Okay? It's for professionals. Here, you see just people, that's what LinkedIn will tell you. You see expert professionals. And LinkedIn can lead to opportunities. There are people on LinkedIn who reached out to you, oh, my company is recruiting from your profile, you're the right person that we can work. I know people on LinkedIn that I've worked with and they have gotten international jobs in different countries, South Africa, Ghana, United States, Germany, Britain, and all of that. Because LinkedIn, companies look for talent on LinkedIn. Companies don't recruit on social media. as well international companies. Mostly local businesses on Facebook, I mean. But international companies recruit a lot on LinkedIn. And having a good LinkedIn is very important. And of course, it starts with you having, again, a good cover picture, profile picture, and of course, your short bio, and then you go further to talk about yourself. Go further to talk about yourself. This way you write a profile about yourself, you introduce yourself, this is who you are, this is what you do, these are your achievements, what you can bring to the table, and all of that. It makes people to work with you. You now put where you have worked, you put your current place where you have worked, where you have been working before, and all of that is very, very important for you to do that. So in summary, your social media platform should represent who you are now as a professional and where you are going as a professional. It should represent who you are now as an entrepreneur and where your business, or where you're taking your business to as an entrepreneur. Of course, I also have website. This is my website. And of course, it's part of my brand identity. It's part of my brand expression and all of that, okay? From the colors to the content written, to the articles, to the about, everything is intentionally structured for the purpose of what I want people to pick out and see who I am and work with me as a person, okay? Good. So I want to end here and take questions, personalized questions. I use the word personalized questions because I don't like questions. Somebody will come and say, what if there's somebody who is no, talk about yourself. This is me here. I want to go here. This is my challenge, or clarify me here. That's how you get transformation and impact. Okay, questions you may ask about things I have not spoken about. 1 hour is not enough to talk about everything, or 2 hours per se, but please go ahead, raise a hand, ask questions. There's no shy questions. All questions are good. You are not asking a general question, you're asking a personalized question. So you're challenge, something be a challenge to you and not a challenge to other people. Okay, so don't sit on the fence or feel that, oh, my question is stupid. There's no stupid question in business. In the marketplace, every question is right, every contribution is right. We just need to harness it and create value from it. Yes, I see hands up. Yes, Danny Cash. Then we'll come to Therese.
Okay, this is Danica speaking. Thank you very much, Doctor. I have some small challenge. I just wish to ask a question. Based on my Facebook page and based on what I've learned today, I've really learned a lot from your class.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the issue is, I wish to ask, is it possible for like, because
is there Facebook, Danny Cash?
No, I have a Facebook page and my normal Facebook.
Which one are you asking about?
I just need to do some adjustment on the 2 accounts, on the 2 pages.
Yeah, okay.
My name is Abongbi Daniel Abongbi. That's my Facebook page. I mean my Facebook. Then my Facebook page is Danikash and Digital Marketing Center.
Okay.
That is how I intend to build it in the future. That's what I intend to do. Now, based on the contents which I've been posting, I wish to ask, is it advisable, because I noticed I've been having some followers, is it advisable for one to go and delete the former contents you've been posting and start creating a new one, or can one just allow them there and continue with the knowledge we have now, just continue from there and see how you can be doing some adjustment?
Well, in simple, if the content can harm you tomorrow, it's good to delete when you are not yet popular. You never know who can screenshot and use against you tomorrow, right? That's what I would say. But if it's just a normal mistake where maybe the content is not up to standard, there's nothing wrong. Keep it there. It can also be a lesson to somebody someday. So as long as it's just maybe, I mean, personally, when I look at some of my content 10 years ago, 5 years ago, like sometimes you see grammatical errors and wrong structures. They are still there. They're not deleted because that's part of learning and growing. That as long as there's nothing evil, nothing that can harm somebody, all of that is cool. You must not delete. Just become better at it.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Awesome. Because it also makes you human. So making mistakes also good in building a brand, because people are like, oh, you can make it, because it makes you vulnerable. There's some
Yeah,
people that just feel that
that's
their life is so perfect and they don't make mistakes and all of that.
mistakes.
But
That's
that way you become vulnerable. People like you more. People are like, oh, they relate with you. So if Joybert can go through this, what about me? So they relate with you. They say that, oh, you guys have things in common and all of that. So some things are also important in brand building. Just know when to leverage on them. All right, good.
thank
Yes,
you very much,
Teresa.
sir.
Awesome.
Okay, thank you very much, Doctor. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I just first of all want to thank you so much because I've learned a lot. Like there were some things I was even doing without knowing that maybe I have an additional gift without even learning it. And today I've learned. You talked about branding, to know that your page should talk who you are. Your page should speak for yourself.
Yeah.
I just sent you a friend request over Facebook, Shafi Therese. In my Facebook account is Shafi Therese, but I first created a page that when I created a page, I never had an idea of what I want to do already. But since after a while, I really had an idea of what I wanted to do. So I'm dealing with disability. I want to promote inclusion in Cameroon, like in all dimensions. But I never knew maybe what I post may affect my calling. Then secondly, how am I to use those pages to really sell my image and my idea? So I wanted to know, when you talk about using the same image on all the platforms, does it not make it vulgar? Or if you use it, are you supposed to change it after a while, or does it just remain there since you want you want people to have your picture?
What's the meaning of vulgar? What makes something vulgar?
Overseeing it or
Tell me something that you have overseen your face like that. Is it all vulgar? Now, hear this. Now, nothing.
No, some people like.
No, don't assume on people. Did they tell you that it's vulgar? And again, remember that you don't build a brand purposely based on only what people will say. You base on, like, for example, I've been doing this for years personally. I change my profile picture once a year. And this year I've never done it. I always change my profile picture on my birthday. I change my profile picture, but this year I've not done it. So I've had the same profile picture on all my platforms for 2 years now. And it's the same. So what makes it really vulgar, right? The concept is, that's why I see people changing a lot. Like somebody will change profile picture like every 1 month, every few weeks. Like it sends the wrong message. First of all, you're not stable. First of all, look at top brands, look at top professionals and experts in their field. Check to see who changes social media pictures often, right? So it is about building. You cannot build an identity by confusing your followers. That's the thing. So you build an identity by being consistent at the things that you want you want your brand to represent about you and about others. And you don't just change profile pictures based on how you feel. You need to have a strategy for it. You need to have a decision-making process for it. You are changing the old one. Okay, the new one you are bringing in. Why are you bringing the new one? What will be the colors? What will be the expression? What will be the facial expression? What kind of face do you want to communicate? What kind of presence do you want it to carry? All these details are important because that is your touch point. Immediately people see. Like for example, this is my profile picture of me doing whether it's military cafe or whatever. It was I thought about this concept like for 2 weeks. I wanted to communicate something in particular, something there's an expression I wanted to give out. And if I tell you, I use the same, if you see my Zoom, this thing is on my Zoom and all of that, international meetings and local, I've used it almost, I have received comments when I have a meeting with ambassadors, ministers, top, like I receive, people recognize me first on a general Zoom session, people recognize me first on my profile picture. And that's it, it's a touch point. It's a touch point, right? So you don't just put anything because you think you have a nice dress and maybe the background is nice. And that's one thing. Professional pictures, you don't take them in noisy backgrounds. The background should be one color. That's the official recommendation. Don't go and take it. Somebody put a profile picture in a wedding or when they're eating. It's not professional at all. It's not corporate. It's not business. So it's not vulgar, Therese. Okay, it's about you being consistent and building an identity that can stick in the mind of the people. Pius, go ahead.
So please let
Okay,
me finish.
Doctor.
But
yes, Therese.
How do you bring back your audience? Maybe after you have explained all these things to us, and then we notice what maybe where we went wrong, and maybe what made you to lose your audience. Now, how do you bring back the audience?
First of all, what made you lose the audience? I didn't get it. Where did the audience go before you bringing them back? I didn't understand the first part of the question.
Like people who lose interest maybe in you or your activities, maybe because you went wrong, or you started, like you were saying that where you comment, what you do tells people who you are, and then you start commenting on some pages or carrying on some activities that instead bring you down than bringing
no,
you to
if people leave your brand, it means they don't connect with your brand. So people don't leave their brand because your brand is not for them. Focus on building your brand around people who want to consume your brand. You understand? And that's why it's good to make sure you have a brand identity and you're consistent with it. So that those who are there, they are there because of what your brand represents. That's why I always advise, never build your brand around giveaways. Like who are followers around giveaways. As long as there are no giveaways, there's no traction on the page. When you announce giveaways, you see tractions everywhere. You see? So that's why building the right brand identity and giving value from your brand is the most potent, consistent way to build a sustainable brand. So if you are struggling to bring people back who have run away or who have stopped engaging with your brand, except you made a mistake, even if you made a mistake, you need to be consistent at doing the right thing. They will come back if they want to. They will come back if they relate to the brand. But as long as their brand is right and doing the right thing, you will keep on bringing new people. You keep on getting new page likes, new followers every day, because your brand will keep on growing as long as you are building it. So never be worried about those who are left, those who are gone. Be worried about the new people that you can build a bigger brand, a bigger expression, and attract more people out there. That's your biggest occupation. How do you build further, bigger, and in a consistent way, and attract people that have never heard about it?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Pius.
Thanks, Doc. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time, and thanks for the knowledge you've impacted on some of us tonight.
Praise God.
Like for myself, I am pro graphic designer, and I have worked both nationally and internationally, you know, with companies and stuff. And I used to do branding, but more in the physical. Like I used to own like a printing press, and you know, people will, I could tell how much companies would normally spend on printing and logos and designing and stuff, you know.
Yes.
So yeah, they really did not joke with that part of the business. Like you said, branding is all.
Yes.
Yeah. So now the whole thing has gone digitally, so it's kind of new to me, you know. So that's the reason why I'm here to learn how that works now digitally. So, Doctor, my question is: you said something about the pin.
About
No? The pin tag.
the pin card.
Yeah, the pin. You said something about the pin on Facebook. There's something that I just wanted to ask somewhere. Like, yeah.
To pin the main post. Yes.
Yes, sir. Doctor, I wanted to ask: is it advisable for us to expose our like resume out there, or is this just advisable to, like, you know, click on, I don't know, dish out the like the highlights? I mean, talking about exposure of your resume.
Well, you need to put what can attract people. So you need to put something short. People can read, and then they want to know more. They can go to your website, they can go to wherever you're directing them, and they can see it and download or know more about you.
Okay, sir. Okay,
yes, because you need to get their attention, and you get attention by doing it. Can be a video of 30 seconds, 50 seconds, 1 minute, or a short written post and a good picture, and then you put your website there for normal, or your WhatsApp number. Yeah, so you need to put something that is like a lead magnet, a lead generation that can push people to find out more about you and work with you.
Okay, doctor.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that was all. Cheers.
Awesome. Yes, Danica, I see your hand up again. Round up. Okay, I will read questions here on the chat box. Okay. This gentleman says, okay. I am currently doing my master's in business administration with specialization in project management. Please, how can I enhance my brand personality as a project manager, since I'm currently working as a project manager as a volunteer with an NGO to combat climate change? Okay, so first of all, you can do that by talking about the work that you do. And of course, you can build, like in project management, one of the best ways to build a good brand is make sure you're able to communicate the portfolio of the projects you have developed and you have executed. Okay, that's very important. So maybe you talking about the work you do, the projects you're executing, you're developing, and all of that. You can use pictures. If the NGO permits you to use their pictures on your social media platform, you can do that. And then on your LinkedIn profile, for example, you can give examples of projects that you designed, executed, monitored, and maybe the budget of the projects, because that's what in a profession like this, that's what leads to a good professional brand. What you have achieved, what you have conquered, and all of that. Because one of the strategies I'm using to build my brand is share pictures with content, sharing pictures and writing relevant content, not just any kind of content, but industry content. So if you're writing content about project management, or writing content about climate change, writing content about professional volunteering, all of that, then that's it, because that's one of the foundational ways to build a good brand. And again, remember that we are building a brand as per what is the purpose of you. Why are you doing that? Me, the way I structure my brand, I'm structuring to sell my services as a speaker, consultant, and get paid and sell courses. So the way I structure my brand is the same. So in your case, are you building this brand so you can get a better job offer tomorrow? You can get the attention of employers or bigger NGOs? Good. So tell it in that manner. Are you building a brand so you can inspire young people to build better careers in project management? Okay, tell it in that manner. So you need to also know the purpose of every brand has a purpose. That's why you express your brand with that purpose in mind. Okay, don't just do it haphazardly, then the impact will not be there. And the way you even express it will not be consistent, will not be relevant, and it will not be impactful. Okay, all right, everybody. That's it for today. I want to end by saying that there's this program that we do. Some who have taken the program here. It's called the Mini MBA program. It's like people that if you don't have a strong foundation in business, it's focused on strategy and execution, teaching you how to build strategies around things. Like even in this Mini MBA program, there's a course there called How to Build a Top-Notch Personal Brand, which takes a deeper strategy than what we have looked at here, which were the focus on your personal stuff and then part of social media and other stuff around it, right? So if you're here and you want to build, you want to learn the practical strategies to build a sustainable business, then you can enroll for that Mini MBA program. It's certified with international certification that you can use in your CV and anywhere and get a job and all of that. We are admitting the 7th cohort. We have trained people, hundreds of people from 7 different countries around the world, top company executives. Like in Cameroon, we have people working Cameco, MTN, who have taken the course. Anybody can take the course as long as you want to be stretched. If you want to know business in a deeper sense, like I have put together some of my best business strategies and practices and frameworks and tools into that Mini MBA program. So anybody wants to take it. Want to know more, you can send me a WhatsApp message. I'm sharing my WhatsApp number in the chat box. So you can WhatsApp me if you want to register the program and we can talk. You have a question? Okay, ask a question quickly. And we'll run up. I need to catch up with another meeting.
So please, thank you for what you've been teaching. It's very impactful. I wanted to ask a question. Is it necessary or important to use your picture as a profile on Facebook, or maybe what you do? Which one is more important? To put your picture or maybe what you do in writing? I don't know. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, a profile platform is designed to only take a picture. So I don't know if you can put the writing there.
So I'm saying like maybe a logo.
Logo is not attractive. Logo is not a human being.
Okay.
I prefer you take a picture trying to express what you do from the picture.
Okay, sir.
If you're into fashion, why not put like a model and put it there? It's going to attract people more than your logo. If you're into healthcare, why not wear a lab coat and take a picture and put it there? So represent what you do. Pictures attract people more than any other thing, naturally.
Okay, sir. Thank
Logos
you.
are not that expressive in profiles. So it's pictures that are expressive.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
All right. Okay, everybody. Have a great time and God bless you.
Bye-bye, sir.